미 합중국 대통령은 이에 이해를 표시하면서 조미 사이에 선의의 대화가 진행되는 동안 조선 측이 도발로 간주하는 미국 남조선 합동군사연습을 중지하며 조선민주주의인민공화국에 대한 안전담보를 제공하고 대화와 협상을 통한 관계 개선이 진척되는 데 따라
5개년 전략 수행 기간이 지난해까지 끝났지만 내세웠던 목표는 거의 모든 부분에서 엄청나게 미달하였습니다. 그처럼 어려웠던 지난 한 해 전례 없이 장기화된 사상 초유의 세계적인 보건위기 상황 속에서도 어려움을 완강히 이겨내면서 방역사업에서 전인민적인 자각적 일치성을 견지하고 그것을 애국적 의무로 여기며 방역의 안정적 형세를 시종일관 철저히 보장하였으며
We're back.
We're back, baby.
Oh, we are back.
Lovely Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. It's that time of the week again.
It's that time of the week. It took us 3 episodes to work out. Probably the best place to record is in one of the houses, which we pay for, as opposed to parks, children's playgrounds, and toilets in bars.
I know. We made some rather unusual decisions as regards where we record the podcast.
It's a learning process.
Yes.
That's what they say.
But we went back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
We took some advice.
And now we're hanging around outside toilets.
Yes.
What my dad always used to say, get out of there, son.
Get out of there. You never know what you might fucking find. Do you know what I mean? I've dropped an F-bomb already. No.
We're trying to be more PC.
I said I wouldn't drop the F-bomb so early.
I let it out.
What's wrong with me? Have I got Tourette's?
Maybe you do have Tourette's.
I might have Tourette's.
But you're looking very healthy.
Do you think so?
You've been to the gym. I'm hungover, as usual.
Yes, I went to the gym again this morning, just to let everyone know. I was at the gym.
So don't stroke your thigh and look at me and talk about going to the gym like that.
I was working that particular part of the thigh.
You're massaging the muscles?
Yeah, the buttocks.
The buttocks. Massaging my buttocks.
Yes, but to be fair, it was the first time I'd been all week. I didn't go during the week. It was a busy week, but we'll not go into that.
I went every day, dude, but ruined it last night by drinking 1,000 beers.
Yeah, man.
Terrible.
Sure, look.
I was thinking, actually, quite a funny idea. It's just the idea of a normal man, who never makes the association between having a hangover and alcohol.
Yeah, so, I think there's boys that exist out there who are like that, especially in Ireland.
Yeah.
And to be fair, in England.
Well, I always used to think that about pregnancy. Like, do you reckon there, like in caveman times, there were people who just didn't know that having sex made you pregnant? Because it's like 9 months later that it happens. So they probably were just like, do you reckon there's a link between us doing the sideways dance and then the babies?
Know. This is something that I've thought about a little bit recently. We do tend to think that caveman and early man in general and early women too, early people were
very PC,
fucking stupid. We're just totally dumb. And I don't know if that was so much the case. I think they were more intelligent than we give them credit for.
Oh, I think they were way more intelligent than us. Well, like, obviously they didn't know about quantum physics and all that shit.
A different kind of intelligence, if you like.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't die. Like, imagine if you dropped us into the middle of the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd be dead before I was even dropped into the jungle. I'd stub my toe getting into the helicopter. Like, I wouldn't last.
No, man, I carry a Swiss Army everywhere. So I'd be grand. Survival.
Just shouting your way around the jungle. Come here! No, I think in general people are getting shitter. Can you imagine, like, the 19-year-olds of these days?
Yes.
Storming the beaches of Normandy.
It would be, I mean, that image in my head now is hilarious.
Oh my God! Stop that!
This is really not good for my anxiety.
All recording fucking TikTok lives, running up the sand, getting
shot.
Hey guys! Jean-Baptiste has uploaded 100 pictures to Facebook from the beaches of Normandy. Kids, you still use Facebook? Yeah?
Oh my God! Yeah.
No, they wouldn't laugh.
People doing a wee TikTok dance.
Doing TikTok dances on the beaches of Normandy, just getting cut down by German bullets.
Oh man, dear. Yeah. But anyway, so here we are.
Yeah.
And we're one of the reasons why we're here. You're home alone, my friend.
I am home alone.
You are Macaulay Culkin.
I am. She's gone to Las Vegas. to spend all their money.
The city that never sleeps, boy. Huh?
That's what they call it, Las
That's what they
Vegas,
call
the
it.
city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it's weird. It's nice and quiet, but
Yes.
very quickly I realised, you know, sort of when you know you're going to be alone for a bit,
Yes.
sort of, I'm going to do all this stuff. And then I remember, like 12 hours after she left, like, I never learned how to cook. And I can't do it. Just instantly. I had food poisoning, I'd say, within the first day. And it's getting worse.
Tom, like you're perpetually giving yourself.
Yeah. Well, you lived with me in my bachelor days. You saw some of the
I did.
culinary inventions I come up with.
Yeah.
First day I wanted to make like a seafood risotto.
Yes. Seafood.
Seafood,
Man.
yeah, I was ambitious. Now, I don't really know how to do rice, so I substituted the rice for spaghetti.
Yes.
So it's now seafood spaghetti. And I was going to make like a homemade sauce.
Homemade sauce.
Yeah, like a homemade sort of risotto sauce.
Yes.
But I don't know how they make it thick, so I just did mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got spaghetti and mashed potato sauce.
With a load of seafood.
Yeah, and just add butter to the mashed potatoes to make it into the sauce. And then couldn't find seafood, so I just bought an octopus tentacle, chopped that up, fried it, stuck it in the mashed potatoes. So yeah, like seafood risotto turned into spaghetti and mashed potatoes with burnt octopus, which was raw in the middle.
Yes, I think you need herself to be back here
Yeah, she needs to come back soon.
as soon as possible.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the 20 beers I drank last night or the reheated seafood mashed potato spaghetti risotto that I made on Thursday that I ate last night when I came home. But something's not right in my stomach.
There's
Arse's
multiple.
on the latch.
There could be multiple culprits.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say to me. There's a lot of suspects here.
I mean, it's not even in the top 100 things killing me right now, but I just don't feel well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be grand. You're only on your first beer.
On my first beer there, yeah.
You've had a coffee.
Feeling much better.
Yeah, you were out I saw you out walking the dog earlier on.
Yeah. Did vomit on the floor.
Yes,
I don't
that's
like
true.
picking up dog shit.
I know you don't. The listeners, those of the listeners that know you well, will know about your dog shit phobia.
Yeah,
and
it's terrifying stuff.
It makes you vomit instantly.
Yeah,
I've seen this.
I mean, there's like the CIA had this project called MK Ultra.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, the idea that you can activate an assassin by whispering a list of words into their ear, and that will they'll be hypnotized, and then you'll say like the activation phrase to them, and then they'll kill someone.
Yes,
like they do at the end of Zoolander.
Okay.
And I believe that I have the same thing, but I can instantly make myself vomit just by thinking of a series of images of dog shit.
Yes, and I can see the connection you're making there.
Yeah, yeah.
And people will be listening to this. Cynics will listen to this and think that's a tenuous connection. But you know what it is? What? Screw you, cynics.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
This is a conspiracy podcast now. And
it is.
Yeah, MK Ultra did some work in England, and they made me.
They made you.
Yeah.
You are like born.
I am a government project.
You're a government project.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deep state project.
I'm a project by the deep state. We will send this man to Spain and disrupt the economy from the inside.
Why are you German?
Yeah. You came in today very angry about something. You've had a road traffic incident.
I've had, not for the first time, I've had a road traffic incident in Barcelona, and I don't drive.
Yeah.
This is as a pedestrian.
Okay.
Anybody who knows this city will know that the drivers are bugging nuts. Like, there is no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. Their lack of respect for the common pedestrian is palpable. So I came out of the gym. And I'm feeling good. I'm nice and relaxed. I'm like, I've got that nice, what do you call those? Endorphins.
Yeah.
Flowing around the body.
Endorphins.
I'm thinking I'm going to go meet my good pal later on, Tom Moon. We're going to have a beer and record a podcast and all the positive things, right?
Yeah.
I go to cross the road. There's the green man. I have the right of way. The green man.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of the road. And there's an old man on the opposite side of the road coming towards me too, right? This guy, instead of stopping, speeds up so that he can cut both of us off.
Legend.
And instantly I go from calm, tranquil, post-gym, very, very at ease with himself kind of guy, like,
Yeah.
to a monster. It came out of me, like, this thing came out of me. And it's not the first time it's happened. And I shouted.
Yeah.
I shouted expletives, like heavy expletives. And I made eye contact with him and all, and I was very riled up in that instant. I called him an F and C word. I'm not going to say it because I know children listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
We are a family podcast as well.
It's a family conspiracy podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are a family podcast. So, and it just got me thinking then after. I was like, geez, Michael, you know, normally you're just grand and you're a fairly chilled out fella.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's fair to say.
Yeah, no, you are, yeah.
But then sometimes, you know, the animal within comes out. And I thought to myself, and you know, my accent changed.
Yeah, yeah.
I went very strong Belfast.
Yeah.
Very strong Belfast. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, see you know, see if I get my hands on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just comes out of me sometimes in a moment like that. And the Barcelona drivers bring the worst out in me.
Yeah.
And people say to me, would you not rent one of them bikes? What do you call them? Beasing? You're not getting around beasing, and it will cut your journey time down and all this kind of stuff. But I wouldn't trust myself. I think I would end up, well, I'd probably crash, like, let's be fair.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Probably
can you ride a
crash.
bike?
I can ride a bike, yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. And I can ride a bike.
Yeah, just going to be...
Just so you know.
Yeah, it's being super fucking South English posh boy there, like, and do they have bicycles in Ireland?
You better believe it. Michael Collins used to drive one around Dublin.
Don't have
In
roads.
disguise.
That's a joke. I'm aware Ireland has roads. Sorry. Letting myself down.
But what was I saying there? I lost my thread. Oh, yes. The beasting. And I just know that I'd either crash or end up in a dispute within 2 days.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I've seen, you know, you're my best friend, but I've also seen that you...
Oh, that was very cute.
Aw.
Love you too, baby.
Let's pause for appreciation of each other. I've seen that you share your body with someone I affectionately refer to as the Beast. When you get angry, the Beast comes out.
The Beast?
I've seen the Beast less than a handful of times. Yeah, the Beast within you.
Yeah.
Strong Belfast accent. Huge shoulders. You genuinely swell up when you get angry. Like, into your shoulders. You just inflate by about 20%. The last time I saw the Beast was...
come on.
when we were in that bar, El Ocho. And, like, it was a very crowded bar, and there were some women sitting on a table near us.
Jeez, yeah, I remember.
And some guys, like, walked past them. The woman looked all confused, and the Beast came out. And you assumed the women spoke English straight away, which is very funny. And then you spoke in that thick Belfast accent. Yeah. Hey, do you know them?
Because your man touched her.
Yeah, he touched her inappropriately.
Her.
Yeah. And then you just went and followed these, I think they were like, I'm going to guess they were Scandinavians. They had the look of Scandies about them.
I don't know where they were from.
But you followed them.
Yeah.
And you sat them down, you gave them a very stern talking to. They came back and apologised.
I know, and it wasn't quite like that, but it was somewhat like that. But I saw your man grab her, and she was sitting in our company.
Yeah,
she was.
She was with us.
A friend of a friend.
Okay.
And she kind of flinched.
Yeah.
I was thinking, does she know him? I wonder, was that like a jokey thing?
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't sit right with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and asked her. She's like, no, I don't know. I have no idea. I was like, I'm just thinking to myself why he touched me. I was like, all right, okay, I'm just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So I just went and had a conversation with him. There was nothing. I wasn't like fucking Clint Eastwood or anything like that there. I just went and said, here.
Nah, you were. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen you do. You walked in.
You're making me embarrassed now. Like.
But it's also funny, our friend of the podcast, Big Dave, who's, as the name suggests, quite a tall man. I'm not sure exactly how tall Dave is, but I think it's somewhere around 12 feet tall and maybe 700 pounds. Like, he's
700 pounds?
Or pure muscle. 700 pounds of pure muscle.
Strong as a bull.
You know, he benches 130 kilos.
I know, yeah.
That's insane.
I was saying, she saw him do it.
But he followed you just to keep an eye on you. And I think...
Oh, did he?
Yeah, okay.
If I'd have realised Big Dave was by me, I would have been more cheeky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, in case the Beast started swinging, like, he had to, sweep up the blood.
It was fine, though, because your man, I was like, you grabbed her, whatever, and to be fair, he was like, "Oh, it was an accident," and
it was not a
definitely wasn't
fucking
an
accident.
But I think, like, ultimately it was solved. It was diplomatic enough, and there was nothing. There was no violence, right?
Yeah.
But it was just
there
like,
was the suggestion of violence because the beast was talking in his thick Belfast accent whilst lying in the shadow of a true giant. Our own Hagrid, Mexican Hagrid.
I don't know. Well, our own Hagrid.
Yeah, he is our own Hagrid, isn't he?
But you know yourself, it's like I feel, but I'm getting all confused here. But I know boys I know, and boys from Letterkenny or Belfast, and like family members of mine. If you see someone do that to somebody, it's hard to let it go. Like, you have to at least say something.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is. Do you know what I mean? And it was almost like, it's like, well, I have to, it's kind of like an obligation here.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be fair, I was a wee bit mad as well.
Yeah.
I think the tail end of this,
yeah,
because I just totally deflated that balloon. We can cut that a little bit out at the end.
No. No, it's staying in.
Okay. So moving on from my traffic rage.
Your road rage without a car.
Yeah, without a car. Not for the first
Realistically,
time.
what would you have done though? Like, if you got out of the car, would the beast have put him back in the car in bits?
That's the thing. That's what was crossing my mind. For all I know, he could have been a jiu-jitsu expert or some kind of Hong Kong Fooey guy, and he just battered the head off me.
It's one of
in all probability.
One of my favourite bits of classic Simpsons is when Nelson is like bullying the guy in the tiny car, and then the guy gets out of the car and he's 7 foot tall.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it's funny? This is the most economic car I can afford.
Big long strides from that. Just me scarpering back the grass here. Oh Jesus, man. Yeah, no. Listen, I don't know. It's just a reflex. The guy nearly knocked me over. In my defense, with a fucking BMW. And there was another fella that, to be fair, that was pretty nonplussed about it too.
That's the thing that annoys me.
But nothing came of it.
Old fella.
But I just thought it was interesting. And it's not unique to me. It's within everyone. It's within the psyche, my friend. This is Jungian psychology we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
The animal within.
Yeah.
And every now and again it rears its head. It's there. Do you know what I'm saying? It's always there. And you have to try and keep it in control, but it's good to have it too at the same time.
I don't know, dude. I think this is something exclusive to you.
No,
the beast.
No.
The beast. I don't have the beast.
I've seen you get wound up.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time?
Which time?
The time that the fella fucking
stabbed
stabbed you.
me. Yeah.
Tom got stabbed.
Yeah.
One time.
Let's tell the whole. This was a few spooky seasons ago.
I'll tell this story.
Okay.
Right? So we were out at Halloween, and this leads us in because it's Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
We were out for Halloween. It was a Halloween party at our good friend of the podcast, Niall O'Gorman's place.
Yeah.
And everybody was dressed up, and we went out after the party. It was a great party, great fun. We went out after somewhere, but me and you ended up getting separated from the crowd, right?
Yeah.
It was just you and I on the metro. And we were, I think where were Barceloneta?
Yeah, not a good place to be.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough enough neighbourhood. But we come out of the metro at Barceloneta, and this guy comes up to me and is like, "Hey man, how's it going? I love your costume," shit like this. And I was like, "How's it going, man?" I was obviously 3 sheets to the wind, like.
Yeah.
And talking to him and like getting on fine. Little did I know that like 10 foot away, this guy's friend had taken your phone, right?
Yeah.
He
took my wallet.
He took your wallet.
My wallet, yeah.
And you did you get in a wee bit of a wrestling match with him?
Yeah, no, I took it back off him.
Yes.
And then he was like, "Oh, look, I'm sorry, dude, I'm sorry." Also, during this entire thing, I was wearing my Halloween costume.
Which was
hilarious. Yeah, a human glow stick.
Yeah.
So I just bought, I think, 2,000 glow sticks off eBay and then activated every single one and glued them to my entire body. So you could see me from space.
Yes.
And this guy somehow thought that he could sneakily take my wallet without anyone noticing, like shadows everywhere.
Yeah, and I presume his friend was trying to do the same with me, but he was trying to do it like Mr. Friendly style. Yeah. You know?
Anyway, he took it, and then I took it back off him, and I said, he's like apologizing, like trying to buoy it off. I said, "No, how would you like it if I took something off you?"
Yeah.
So
you took his phone.
I took his phone off him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, give that back." And I didn't give it back. I launched it down the street.
Yeah.
And then he's like, right. And he took a little flick knife out of his back pocket. And I saw that knife. And if anyone ever pulls a knife on you, they're either going to use it straight away, in which case you're fucked, or they're going to use it to intimidate you.
Yes, okay.
If you let yourself get intimidated, you're more likely to be stabbed. So the important thing is to pretend not to notice it.
Okay.
Let's check those facts.
Hey guys, Tom here with a quick fact check. Obviously, don't listen to any of this.
Anyway, he just stabbed me. He was going to use it.
Yeah.
He stabbed me in the arm, but I ignored it.
Yes.
And then we had a bit of a little wrestling match.
No, you took your keys out and bashed him in the head with them.
Yeah, I stabbed him in the eye with my key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and the kid was bleeding out his face. So to put this in context, I was totally unaware of any of this happening.
You were organising a five-a-side match with
me and your man were going to be buzzing buddies as we pal. I had no idea this was happening. I was like, wasn't looking at you, what I saw was you launching the phone.
Yeah.
A bit of a rumpus, and then I caught up to you, and your man was bleeding, and he was like, "You threw my phone away." Like he was like,
I felt sorry for him at that point. Yeah, he was only little.
You felt sorry for him. He had stabbed you.
Yeah.
Now, to give context, it wasn't a super big wound.
But
it was
a
still
tiny knife. Yeah.
You still panic, like obviously you've just been stabbed, right? And I didn't realize that this had happened, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on, man? What are you doing?" And then you was like, he tried to rob me or whatever. And we went down, your man's phone was all smashed. Do you remember?
Yeah, I felt bad because he couldn't find it. He's like, you need to help me find my phone. So I was like, we were looking with the flashlight on my phone, and it was all smashed up. And then he looks at me and goes,
helping him, like, what?
He looks at me and he goes, you need to pay for this, because the screen was all smashed up. Fuck you, like, my arm's pissing blood.
Yeah.
No, it's because I was hammered. Like, there was just no thickness to my blood. It was like water.
It wasn't a deep wound, but it was still a wound, right?
Yeah, I got the...
He walked. The cops. I remember the siren started. The cops and they scarpered.
They ran off. Yeah.
And you said to me, and you were a bit shaking. He just stabbed me. He stabbed me. I was like, "Are you for real?"
Yeah.
I remember being like shocked. I was like, "What the fuck happened?" Like,
yeah, it
was so bizarre, man. And like,
weird.
And like, I felt so guilty. I was like, "I can't believe that my mate got stabbed," and I was talking to some fucking prick about, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, "I can't." And you were a bit shaken up. To be fair, you took it in your stride, like not
the first time I had a knife pulled on me, but it was the first time I had one put in me.
I had to get in between a man and a knife before one time as well.
They're horrible.
Let's not go down this road. We might take that. We'll tell that story another time. But yeah, Tom, like that. Like, to be fair, back to the point. You had the bit of the beast coming out in you there. Like, you bashed him in the head. He was bleeding. You took the fact that you didn't panic about getting stabbed in the arm. I mean, that was pretty fucking ballsy. That was ballsy.
You can't panic in these situations. Once they've happened, they've happened. Yeah.
You handled it really well.
Thank you.
Because whenever you told me that he had stabbed you, I went bananas. I was like, let's go after him and all. And that was stupid after he was drunk. You were like, no.
Well, I think I could handle it better by just taking my wallet off him, telling him to fuck off, and then not getting in an altercation while I was dressed as a human glow stick with the police around.
I mean, you couldn't have handled it any better, man.
Yeah.
So fair play to you.
Yeah.
But you did. No. You let the beast come out.
The beast came out on Halloween.
The beast was there. The beast was there when you needed it most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's probably the worst spooky season. This episode is probably going to come out around Halloween.
It is going to come out.
Could be the Halloween episode.
Ooh.
Ooh, yes. Is it a ghost or is it just a very satisfied, happy gay man?
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Either or.
Have you got any ghost stories? Well, you're a man who believes in the spirit realm, I feel.
I do. I believe that you should not interfere with the spirit realm.
Yeah. So, bit of background. Me and Michael's relationship, perfect. Just like a really old married couple. We've had one big blow up.
We had a blow up
in our time.
We did.
We did lockdown together, spent every day together, spent, 14, 15, 16 hours a day together for the whole of lockdown. No arguments except one.
Our friendship actually strengthened.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of people had falling outs during lockdown with their housemates. You and me, one big 8-man house. Just you and me in that house. Spent the whole time together.
But the blow up.
The blow up was the exception, and that was when I tried to summon an eldritch demon called Lilith in our living room using instructions I found on the internet.
And I was having absolutely none of it, my
You were
friend.
furious.
None of it.
Yeah.
And here's why. You start messing with that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and next thing you know, you're in too deep, my friend.
Okay.
You're in too
Right.
deep. And I come from an Irish Catholic family.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And we know boys that know boys. And we know people that have, that have, let's just say they know a little thing or two about the spirit world.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to men in bars in hushed tones
Okay.
about things like this.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a big no-no, my friend. And
Okay.
we had the argument.
Yeah.
And thankfully you saw sense in the end.
I listened to you. Now, can I explain my point? This was deep in the lockdown, and I thought, what's something that me and Michael can do together, a fun activity, because we were doing cocktail night every night, and we were going a bit loopy. We were watching films a lot. We watched a lot of films. And I thought, what's something we can do together that would be fun, easy, like a sort of creative thing?
There's nothing easy about it, let me tell you.
Well, I decided, let's summon an eldritch demon. Is eldritch a word?
I don't know, I was just thinking that. It might be. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. So we'll summon a demon, and we'll be able to do it together. And I sort of Googled demons to summon, and then I amended my Google. I said, easy demons to summon for first time demon summoners. And Lilith popped up. All the ingredients you need to summon Lilith are usually available from your local supermarket.
Let's check those facts.
Yeah, just one more fact check. I was almost correct. You need chalk, offerings, salt, but you do also need a black candle, which you probably can't get from your local supermarket. You might have to go to an IKEA for that one. And you also need something called a lilac mirror, according to the Munich manual for necromancy. I don't know what that is, but maybe you have to go to a specialist magic shop, or maybe again an IKEA. IKEA might do those. But yeah, it sounds like a fun rainy day activity for all the family.
I'm glad I didn't buy the ingredients, otherwise I'd waste the money.
Listen, man, there's certain rules that I live by.
Okay.
And one of them is, don't fuck with the occult.
Okay.
Don't mess around with the unseen world. You don't know what's out there. And I know you're a rational scientist guy. And listen, I'm all for science. I'm a great man for science.
Yeah.
But there are things about this universe, about this existence, that we do not understand, my friend.
Okay.
That we will never understand. And when you start dabbling in that, that's when things go south. And that's how every fucking horror film starts.
Yeah.
A couple of douchebags go, oh, let's do this and see what happens. Then what happens? Everything goes to shit. That's what happens, my friend.
I agree with you that there are things we don't understand. I just don't think ghosts are real. Like,
Fair enough.
Why are all ghosts from the 18th century? Where are the caveman ghosts? Where are the dinosaur ghosts?
Listen, my friend.
If ghosts are real, is there a point above New York where the planes hit the towers, which is super haunted, and there's just ghosts hanging around there in the sky, just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Listen, man, that's not how it works. You don't know how it works. I don't know how it works, but there's things out there. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've experienced things that would send shivers down your spine, my English friend.
Cool ghost story. Give us one ghost story.
Okay,
Number one
yes.
ghost story.
Well, so some listeners of the podcast may have heard me tell this story before,
Okay.
but a few years back, well, I would say must be 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, my mother rented a house and a cottage in a town called Ramelton, Donegal. And this cottage is over 400 years old, like well over 400 years old. It's situated beside a bridge, and there's a river that runs close. It's within the garden. There's a river that runs down, and people say that this is a place. This is a weak point in the when the spirit world and the physical world can connect.
Right.
But anyway, that's not relevant to the story. I just thought I would bring that up.
Okay.
So, well, it is relevant to a certain
it's a
degree.
ghost story.
So, first night, I go up to stay with my mum in this place. Now, I'm living in Letterkenny at this point, but I go up to stay with her just to spend a bit of time or whatever. And I'm sleeping in the room downstairs, and my mum's in a room upstairs. Immediately, when I walk into that room, I'm getting vibes, my friend. I'm getting vibes. I'm getting vibes. I've got this uncanny feeling, just unease, general unease. But I'm thinking to myself, well, it's probably just because it's an unfamiliar room. You haven't been there before. And bear in mind, at this point, I'm fairly, I'm fairly up the sort of scientific rationalist viewpoint. I've read Richard Dawkins and this kind of stuff,
You're that sort of like age where we're going to get where they're insufferable rationalists.
Yeah, insufferable atheist prick.
Yeah, that's the one.
But yeah, so I get into bed and I'm just settling down and thinking I'll get to sleep here, close my eyes. And almost immediately I feel something touch me. You think people say, oh, it's like a shiver up your spine or like a tingling sensation.
Yeah.
No, it was like a hand touching me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. And the thing, I look round, there's nothing there. I was like, what? My heart starts racing. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I'm thinking, well, I can hardly run upstairs to my mummy. Like, I'm 20 years of age here. Like, I gotta think about this rationally. Maybe I'm just constructing some kind of weird scenario because it's 400 years old, the cottage, and you know what I mean? Your subconscious is going a little bit weird.
Yeah. Just the reveal that you were 20 years old when this happened is very funny. You got scared and wanted to run to your mummy's room.
Well, exactly.
Mummy!
Well, I was thinking, what am I going to do here? Like, it's like, that felt like something. I was like, make a ways up, relax yourself. Yeah. So I turned over again. And I swear to fuck, man, it felt like someone, it happened again, this time on my leg, and it was like fingers running up my leg, like they were playing the piano. Like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's weird.
And people will listen to me now and think, he's full of shit, he's this, that, and the other. That happened. That happened to me that night. And it continued for the entire night.
Oh, really?
I didn't sleep. I think I slept for maybe an hour. I think I slept between the hours of 6 and 7. About that. I got to sleep because the sun started to come up or whatever. I felt the covers tugging.
Yeah.
Like, it was genuinely very, very frightening. It was one of the most probably the most frightening night I've ever experienced in my life. And I know there's maybe the human brain is a very complex thing and it can construct all sorts of things, and that's possible. But whatever happened, that's what happened. Something happened that night, and it was very, very unsettling. That's all I can say. Okay. And it was in that room, and I never felt comfortable in that house after. Cut to later. My mother's moved out of that place, right? I'm talking to a friend of ours, a friend of the show, John Muldowney, right? Yeah. His friend, by the name of Snork. Snork is a reliable source.
Okay.
It's his nickname.
Reliable name for a reliable source.
Snork used to live there, so he lived there before my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my friend of mine. I haven't told anybody about my experience. I've told a few people, but I hadn't told John or Snork or anybody about this. And he's like, Snork used to live in that place where your mommy was living before she was in there. And he says, it was haunted as fuck, he reckons.
Oh, shit.
Haunted as fuck was the exact words he said.
And you got haunted?
My head almost exploded. I was like, what? He says, man, that night I stayed there. And I told my story. And he said, oh, geez, man, I believe every word of it. So Snork reckons it was haunted as fuck.
Fucking hell.
He used to, so apparently he used to feel like somebody was watching him. Mm-hmm. And then he would feel like just all of a sudden, like a coldness just wash over his body. But he didn't go into specifics about the touch
didn't
thing.
feel the legs or anything. No.
Yeah. But there you go. But listen, make of it what you will.
Yeah.
It was spooky, to say the least. I was fucking terrified. Not going to deny it.
I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't believe in ghosts, but I remember like there was a time when I did. I was much younger. And I think I've told you this before. Like, I was convinced, I woke up in the night and I used to be so scared that I'd like turn the light on. I was sitting there and I couldn't work out why I was scared. And I became convinced that there was someone behind my bedroom door. And I was staring at my door, thinking like there's a person just behind there. And I was so scared that the door opened.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I don't know if like my fear manifested the door to open. There's no one there, but the door just slowly opened.
I mean,
I got so scared, like put my head under the covers, just shaking. And there's another time, I was sort of like we had family down. My uncle was staying, and I was lying on the sofa in the living room, and I was young, so I was getting a bit tired. I was sort of dozing off. Yes. And I remember waking up, sort of like half awake, half asleep, and everyone's sitting in the living room talking. And I looked out into the hallway, and the hallway's dark because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
there's a shadow, like just standing in the hallway, like a shadow. And
Jesus.
it moved across the hallway, like sort of creeping, moved, and then, swear to God, saw my uncle's car keys that he put on the table on the side, like move up and float like like poltergeist activity. Anyway, it turned out what had happened. Man had come in through the back door with a balaclava on, took my uncle's car keys. They found the car in a housing estate just off the island. Yeah. But that's true. Yeah, true story. My uncle got his car stolen. They took his car keys from our house. They came in and they're fucking balls on that thief to see, have a room full of people and take the car keys.
Oh my goodness. Well,
and my uncle just come back from France on the car ferry, so he had like a truckload of alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, he was pissed off.
So that's your supernatural story.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto.
But I have a few,
Yeah.
and I have to save some of them obviously for later podcasts.
What we could do
But I
next
have a few.
podcast, we can just do entire spooky stories if the audience wish.
Yeah, there's one that when I was a little boy,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this, but apparently I spoke to someone from the other side.
Oh god.
You know, my brother was a student,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived in a student house with a bunch of people, and they all thought it was haunted. And he brought me there one day. He was looking after me,
Yeah.
and I went to the toilet. I was obviously out of the nappies. Do you
Yeah.
know? I was pissing freely.
Was this when you were 20 again?
Couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got served.
Yeah.
I got served a real dose. I don't know. What do you do? I was 3 or something. I don't fucking remember it.
Yeah.
But apparently I spoke to the ghost.
What,
That
while
was
you in the
haunting
toilet?
place. Yes.
I mean, that's weird on so many levels. Some
Yeah.
sort of paedophile ghost follows you to the toilet.
Well,
Sex offending from the other side. You can't
Yes.
stop them.
perhaps another time. But
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? And then of course there's the old Irish story of the banshee as well. But that'll have to wait too.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom,
Lots of
listen.
story. Tell you what
What
we
you
can
don't
do.
know about the other side could fill a warehouse, my friend. Stick with me, kid. I'll see you right.
Okay.
You know.
I'll tell you what we can do.
Supernatural.
I can put a little link on this podcast so listeners can send in audio messages to us and they can tell their ghost stories.
Yeah.
Or they can ask us questions.
Oh, questions would be great.
Or they can fact check me.
Yeah, fact check Tom. Well,
Yeah.
I also fact check.
I mean, I'm
me.
always right, and that's the issue. But they can
Yeah.
try and fact check me.
They could fact check you, fact check you,
It's a
and they
second
could,
beer, dude.
they could ask us little questions.
Yeah.
I'd love some questions for the pod at some
Okay.
point.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll try and set that up.
Oh! Before we go, this is going to
Okay.
be a big edit. I know an edit job because we've talked for a long time.
It's good though.
I have some questions to ask you.
Ask me some questions. Yeah.
These questions are from the TV show Inside the Actor's Studio.
Okay. Go on.
Other pods have done this, but sure, look, we'll rip them off.
Yeah. We'll do it better.
So, Tom,
Yes.
I want to get to know you. I want to get to where's the real Tom, man? That's what the people want to know. They want to get deep into your psyche. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So here we go. Excuse me, I just have to do a small burp. What is your favorite word?
My favourite word, bungalow. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Bungalow,
great
yeah.
answer.
Bungalow.
Bungalow. That's nice.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite word, my friend?
No.
Oh,
Don't like people telling me no.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
petulant child.
You're like a princeling, little princeling. from
I want
Southern
my
England.
brioche and I want it now.
Yeah. What turns you on, Tom?
Turns me on a good bit of engineering. Nice engineering. Airplane parts. Airplane engines.
Excellent.
A nicely made airplane engine with a high bypass for good fuel efficiency.
Fantastic. Great answer, Tom. You're on the spectrum, though, right?
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
Spectrum of cool.
Yeah, of
Right,
course.
guys?
What turns you off, my friend?
What turns me off? People who talk about work too much.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I'm guilty of that a little bit, man. I need to cut that out a little bit.
No, you're not.
No?
No. There are people whose entire personality is the job they do,
Yeah.
and they're insufferable.
I know, mate. Stop talking about work all
Yeah,
the time.
don't
No.
talk about your job unless you're there.
Yeah,
That's
people
my
don't-
one rule for life.
Literally, people don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah,
seriously. like,
exactly. You're paid to
you
be
know.
there,
yeah,
and if I'm not getting paid to listen to it, I don't want to hear about it.
yeah. What sound or noise do you love?
Favorite sound? Do you remember back in the 90s when you went to the cinema and it was a THX production? And yeah,
I
do you know
know
what?
what you
I'll
mean.
edit it into this podcast. I'll
Yeah.
edit the sound, and it is a glorious rising sound. Love that noise.
You kind of feel it in your stomach.
Yeah. Feel it.
That's class.
Makes you need to go to the toilet.
Good answer. What sound or noise do you hate?
And we'll just go with babies, the safe answer.
Babies?
Yeah, babies
in
crying.
general?
Yeah. Like, I want to have kids, but I think for the first couple of years, I'll give it to someone else.
Yeah, like a nursing maid?
I'll
Is
just
that
a
what
mate.
they
Just
say?
give it to a mate.
Give it to a friend.
Yeah. Give it back to me when it can speak.
What is your favourite curse word?
My favourite curse word?
Yes.
Probably gosh darn it. One I use a lot.
Yeah. Okay, is that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
What profession, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
Ooh. Fireman is the one that immediately springs to mind.
Fireman?
But I think that's the autism speaking. I think probably I'd like to be like an Egyptologist or something.
Oh, yeah, you would love that.
Love all that stuff. Yeah.
You would absolutely go bananas for that job.
Just standing around pyramids, measuring them.
Yeah.
Love that.
Lovely. That's great. Excellent. Well, maybe in another edition of the podcast, you can ask me the same questions.
Next time, we're going to get to know Michael.
Yes.
But we're not going to do Inside the Actor Studio. We're going to do the Voight-Kampff test from Blade Runner.
Ah, okay. Remind me of this.
So the Voight-Kampff test is in the film Blade Runner, which is great movie. For those who don't know about Blade Runner, it's basically the story about robots that look like humans, speak like humans, and act like humans. Replicants, as they're called. Yeah. And they're trying to eliminate them because they don't want them anymore. And the way to find out a replicant is to administer the Voight-Kampff test, which is where you ask a series of emotionally charged questions, which a human being can answer.
Oh, yeah.
But replicants can't handle it because the emotions are too much for their computers to handle.
Yes.
And they go mad. I'll ask you them. I used to ask the Voight-Kampff test on first dates to women.
With varying degrees of success?
Yeah, well, after a while I realised I couldn't answer the questions and the joke was on me.
Excellent. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, we're going to have to wrap it. Oh, it's been a long one.
This has been a long one.
Been a good one, though.
I think it's been grand.
This has been a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely more spooky stories next time.
I think we might have some more.
And if anyone makes it this far into the podcast, there's a link, hopefully, somewhere in the bottom of whatever you're listening to this on, YouTube.
Yes.
iTunes, I think, maybe.
Congratulations for making it this far.
Spotify. I think I've uploaded a Google document somewhere. There's a link. You click on that link and you can send us an audio message and we'll listen to it. And we'll play it on the next podcast. We'll answer your questions or listen to your spooky story and comment on it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Right. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.